Oh, coming back to work is so hard after a vacation. Looking at the backs of buildings. She was the only place I could park. Just come back from a meeting. Hopefully that'll pan out into something. Pretty positive now. And I'm here to get some coffee. After my meeting, before I go home, I should actually get a steamer, but I feel like coffee. And Sister Anne's. Dark 30. This is the aforementioned work. I've had 3 days of working already, so I've gotten used to it again. It takes getting used to after vacation and non-reality of that, and then you come back and boom, work. Well, that's why they call it work. It's not fun. I've mentioned in one of my videos before my vacation began that there's supposed to be a ghost in this building haunting it, which I don't know if I believe that, but certainly do think about it when you walk in here by yourself. Hope I don't run into it in my imagination or in real. The it is supposed to be him, so. It's been, I don't know how long, and finally we got some streaming done. Well, you've probably been doing it all along. Finally I got to do some streaming.
At first,
oh, well, we got it streaming. Yep. Darkness and weird lighting and...
Our Steve Sylvester here. Thanks to Steve for helping us do this.
I set up my church setup here. It's still streaming. Uh-oh. We're up here on Adam Jones's front porch. We're here in the Summit neighborhood of Kansas City. We're doing the best that we can with the current beer flu situation. Let me pan around to show where we are. This camera doesn't do that well in low light, so I'm improvising. And I just did the live streaming portion of it with all my stuff. And it's a lot of work, and it's warm still. It's about to cool off. All right, here's the man about which all this happened. Arnold Young.
That's right.
And your band is called the Rough Tet.
The Rough Tet. Arnold Young and the Rough Tet. We believe smooth jazz implies the existence of rough jazz, which we do. You know, we all love Charlie Parker. We all love straight ahead jazz. We just like to do our own thing sometimes, you know. You know, I think what it was is that by the end of the 50s, people were getting so good at playing bebop that after a while, some of them felt kind of like they were always running the high hurdles. Everything they played had to fit the song form. And some of them kind of get tired of that and just like, you know, Charlie Parker's revolution caught on because he showed people new ways to play over songs everybody already knew. Ornette Coleman took the rug away and says, you're on your own, make up your own song as you go along. He had written melodies and everything, just like with bebop and modern jazz, bebop, whatever you want to call it. But he took the framework away, so you didn't have to fit everything to a pre-organized frame. Even when I was in high school, I kept asking people, how come everything I play has to be over a preset thing? And they said, well, it doesn't work any other way. Well, they were wrong, and it does work. And I'm the I'm maybe not the first drummer from Kansas City to play free jazz, but I'm the first one to play it here, and that was in 1964 65. And you know, it's never been recognized in Kansas City. You go to Chicago and New York, free is part of the jazz landscape and has been forever. You know, I remember we have a fantastic drummer from Kansas City named Ryan Lee. I think he goes as Ryan J. Lee now. He's one of the greatest drummers anywhere. And when he first went to New York for a couple months, he came back and went, "They're all playing this free stuff." I said, "Yeah, man, about the last 50 years or so." You know, you go to Chicago, New York, free's part of the thing. Here, it just isn't. This is a kind of a bebop town. But we love bebop, and we love Charlie Parker. We're not trying to tear Parker. We come not to destroy Parker, but to fulfill Parker. I actually come from a little town out in Kansas, and I moved here when I was 3 days after I got out of high school. I moved into the dormitory at UMKC and started going to the Conservatory of Music. I played all over the country. I lived in San Francisco for 8 years. I've lived in New York City for a couple of years. I've lived in LA a little bit. I'm planning on spending some time in New Orleans. I got some good friends down there, so good musician friends. So I don't know. I'm just still trying to play. In a few weeks, I will be 75 years old. During this pandemic, thanks to Adam Jones here with his front porch and a few other people's backyards and front porches, we've been able to do some of these live streaming gigs. And our music isn't just totally freely improvised. A lot of it's compositional based. There are certain parameters in which you can do certain things. You can't. It's not just free for all the time. You know, there's a lot of written music that goes with it. And these guys are very patient with me because I'm really crappy at writing music, but they play it anyway. And I'm just very thankful to have these incredible musicians in my band. I feel very lucky. There's so many great musicians in this town. There's a lot of jazz drummers here that play way better than me. The first long-term project in Kansas City jazz history to do free improvisation and other alternative pathways to jazz came about, well, in very late 69 and early 70, and we were together for about 3 years. It was called Advertisement for a Dream. And John here was the bassist. So here we are, playing 50 years ago, and now we're playing together again, which is a great thing for me. John's an amazing bassist.
Sometime in the future, we're going to move on and do something else. You know, we play what we play, and I think the music speaks for itself, or speaks for something.
It's amazing that he, you know, chose to play with Quinn and I instead of somebody who knew to play their instruments way better than we do. But
Well, these guys
it's been an
are so
amazing learning
flexible.
experience for us.
I mean, see, these guys can all play straight ahead jazz, you know, bebop, regular modern jazz, but they also are willing to try something different, which is very refreshing to me.
We have come for your coffee, Esteban. We've moved it out to the patio. Coffee on the patio. This is where we are, east end of 39th Street, across from the Loretto. By east end of 39th Street, I don't mean east 39th Street, I mean east end of the KU Med sort of college town portion of 39th Street. Has a lot of boutique shops and everything. Here on the downbeat patio, oops, with my dongies. Right, dongs? I'm glad you didn't see me trip just now. I think this gimbal keeps it smooth. It's been a long time. RK.
complimentary Bud Light seltzer.